Welcome back. It's another creaky bloody gammas battle report. Let's get on with it.
Okay, g'day viewers. Welcome to round one of Old Hammer 4, and we're playing 2,000 points. And I've just had the Tomb Kings out the last few weeks, so I decided to take the Tomb Kings with a bit of an upgrade for the Leech Priest. The Leech Priest is going to be riding a dragon, so Keefotep the Undying's on his old dragon there, and I've got a Tomb King on a dragon. Yeah, so double dragons. So we will see how it goes. The army restrictions were 2,000 points, and you can see you're allowed 25% on one character. So the Tomb King with Talisman of Protection and Ogre Blade fits nicely, well under 500 points at 2,000. And just the Leech Priest on the dragon is toughness 5, so he's like he's on a little griffin, except he's on a giant base. So the double dragon, we'll see how it goes, and you're allowed one level 4 and a couple of level 2s, or as many level 2s, a couple of level 3s, yeah. So that's the Throne of Skulls restrictions, which sort of just stops the big bad multi-save Chaos Dragon, but not much else really, and just stops the level 4 spam. Now they could have you have a level 4 and a level 3, so you could still do the double Necromancer or Mortis Engine thing. And there's our best painted army there. That's the Dwarves one best painted, and as you can see there were a few different dragons and steam tanks and beautiful armies. Look at the table, there's a village in the middle there, and so the terrain and the modelling at the event was fantastic, and 2,000 points meant we had some decent sized armies, and the restrictions just limited probably just the Chaos Dragon. You still saw plenty of dragons and plenty of cannons and so on to try and take down the dragons. There they are. So there was High Elf dragons, Wood Elf dragons. There was the Chaos Dragon. What's the Warp Fire Dragon? Ogres, and if you look at the quality, there's some couple of Iron Demons there, so fantastic looking armies in a great venue. So next time, if you're nearby, you should just come and have a look. It's great to see. Look at that fantastic looking battle there. There's another dragon there, steam tank. So you get the theme. Everybody was playing to the limits of the restrictions, pretty much, and there's a lot of variety in armies and plenty of cannons to try and take down all my dragons as well. So that's about it. Look at just thought I would showcase all the nice armies. Now John the TO took these photos, so I stole his photos off our WhatsApp group. He did a great job TOing the event. And there's my army, so have a quick look at it. I've got the 40 skeleton archers there, and they will have the level 2 Leech Priest join them. So I'll have the 40 poison archers. I was running 30. I've just upped them to 10 just to increase the core. I've only got one scorpion because in the scenarios, I'll show you the scenario pack, you had to have banners to capture some of the locations on the map. So either the village in the middle or the hill or something like that. So I was running some horse archers, so I decided to beef them up a little bit. So I've got 4 units of 7 horse archers with a banner in there. And my plan is maybe they could actually charge something and give them +1 combat res with the banners. So we'll see how they go. I mean, I do like using horse archers, but I would never put a banner on them. So we'll see if they give up too many points losing their banners and so on. So there's the mighty archers, up to 40 this time. Mainly just to deal with Iron Demons and Steam Tanks, all these toughness 7 things that are about. I mean, dragons usually have too many saves for them to do much damage. There's the level 2. And there's the Tomb King, Keetokamen, the twin brother of Keefotep. He's the Tomb King riding the flying bone dragon. And he's got the Ogre Blade, Talisman of Protection, an ambushing scorpion. There's the Leech Priest Keefotep. It's a new model there. Magnetised into the Howdar on his old bone dragon. And he's got the warding Splint and the Ruby Ring of Ruin, so you'll have to roll for his spells. Necrosphinxes, and there's my horsemen, so they're all posing as horse archers at the moment with a banner, and the other Necrosphinx. So that's the army. So it should go okay. It just depends how fast someone can get into my archers, I guess. A bit worried about round 1. I'm playing Bretonnians, so there could be a lot of monstrous killing blow in there and falcon horns and so on. So we'll see how that goes. And the Leech Priest, toughness 5. It's not really a dragon at all. It's just an extra few wounds for the Hierophant, and he can fly around. Okay, so round 1 against Bretonnians, and this, we've got like a little village in the middle of the table, and you'll get an extra 3 battle points. So it could turn a 10-all draw into a 13-10 or something if you capture that little village. And we've introduced some low linear obstacles in there as well. There's the Bretonnian list. I was expecting the Falcon Horn and an Exiles list, but it's not an Exiles list. It's he's got a Duke on a Royal Pegasus Heartwood Lance, a Paladin, a Baron on a Hippogriff with the... I think that's the one that's got the monstrous killing blow, etc. And a Prophetess, 6 mounted knights, peasants and more peasants, 6 more mounted knights of the realm, 18 men-at-arms, and of course a unit of 4 with the banner of Chalons, and a unit of 3 pegs with no command. So I thought it was going to be an Exiles list, but it's not an Exiles list, so he hasn't got any Bombards, and surprisingly he doesn't have the Falcon Horn. So that helps me. I think I would have been in a lot more trouble if he had the Falcon Horn, because I got a lot of... my characters fly, and the Necrosphinxes fly, so I may have been in a bit of trouble. Anyway, let's have a look at the army in more detail. Right, so we'll have a quick look at the Bretonnians, and my opponent actually won the last tournament at 1750 points, but he missed out on a podium finish because his army wasn't fully painted. So he has been working hard, so full credit to him. He's getting there. Just a couple of units to finish off. There's the Peg Knights and his peasant men-at-arms, and there's a monk in there who makes them stubborn, I think. And then he's got the engine room is there, the lords on the hippogriff and everything, and he's got this poor unit of knights here. Maybe they're out here because they're not painted. Way out on his left flank on their own. There's his Peg Knights at the back, the unit of 3. And yeah, that's the Duke. Is the Duke or the Baron on the hippogriff? Anyway, he's actually turned into a Strigoi Ghoul King, and looks like the Griffin's eating him or something. So he's done a bit of work there. He's adding some character to his army here. That's the battle standard, and there's the men-at-arms with a warrior monk in the front. So quite a nice army. I feel that he hasn't got the Falcon Horn. And there's my mighty horse archers. So I do like horse archers. I usually like to run units of 5, but they just tend to die. So I upped them to 8, and then I had to drop them down to 7 to get a banner in there, and dropped a Scorpion. I had plenty of points then, I suppose. But they are quite good. They're quite fun to use. They move up 8, shoot something, and then scoot away 8. So there's 4 units of them. Necrosphinx, more horse archers and the archers, and then Keefotep and Keetokamen are right next to each other out on my right flank, with another Necrosphinx out there too. Yeah, so that's my right flank. So I've got 1 unit of horse archers out there with the other Necrosphinx. There's the engine room there. There's Keetokamen, the Tomb King, on his Bone Dragon, and then Keefotep the Undying on his Bone Dragon, but only a toughness 5 Bone Dragon, so I've just got to keep him alive. I've been playing Tomb Kings a fair bit lately, and I keep losing my Hierophant and crumbling. I put him on a horse, put him on a bunker of archers, and so now I think I've just got to put him on the dragon. And I tried Mortuary Cult for a little while as well, and that's pretty good. Very strong magic, but then the dragon itself, it just doesn't... if he gets into combat, I'm in trouble. It means I've made a big mistake, or I'm desperate or something. So his idea is just to flitter around and cast spells. I think I might have given him the Ruby Ring of Ruin as well, I think. I'll have to look at my army list. It'll come up in the battle report, I guess. So that's the deployment. Big long string of archers in the middle. I wasn't sure where I was going to put them. And then we're into turn 1. So turn 1, he prayed. I forgot about that. So I was expecting to be charged on turn 1 with an exiles list, but he prayed, and so I travel mystical pathwayed my archers over here away from his big block of where his general was and everything. So I didn't want the archers to get pinned down and murdered by all the peg knights. And then I've just, in my turn, I haven't done much. I've just killed a few peasant bowmen there. And I think I got lucky over here. He did have 4 peg knights, and I think I shot one away. So he's only got 3 peg knights, so he's big one in the middle. And then I've just moved the archers across. And then in his turn, you can see he's lost a couple of peasant bowmen. That's about it. And 1 peg knight. So I got rid of 1 peg knight. That was a bonus. And I've just shuffled forward. You can see maybe I got rid of one of those Pegasus as well. So I think I got rid of 1 of each peg knight. So I did a bit of shooting. So maybe the ruby ring got rid of a peg knight or something. And that's the objective, is to get into the middle of the table. And now it's the bottom of turn 1. His poor old black knights on his left flank are moving up. And then his peg knights and his general, the duke, and the baron are going to move up here behind this building. And I've left a big gap in the middle. So they're going to all fly up here in the middle and try and outflank me on the left flank of my archer block. And then on his extreme right flank here, he's got his peasant bowmen on the hill, and his knights have moved up. And that's about it, really. Not much else happened on turn 1. You can see he's taken that middle area. So all his big threats, all his big flyers, the baron, the duke, and the peg knights have flown into that area. He's moved up to try and grab the village in the middle. And then I guess he's going to try and sweep around this flank. And that's my Hierophant there. So he's in a bit of trouble with all those peg knights around the corner.
Turn 2.
Alright, so turn 2, he's got all these guys here, and my left flank is very exposed, and Keefotep on his bone dragon. They've got line of sight on him there, so he's got to get out of there. I can't get away from them. I can't just sort of fly over the top and get away from them or anything. So I've got this big threat on my left flank, and he's given me an option to charge his peg knights up the middle there with Keetokamen on the Bone Dragon, the Tomb King, but I'm going to go after his unpainted knights on his left flank. So I'm going to charge the dragon over the top and the Necrosphinx. I'm avoiding fighting his, if it's the Duke or the Baron. I'll go on the Hippogriff with the monstrous killing blow and hatred and extra attacks and everything. And then here's a bit of a disaster here. I decide to charge the Necrosphinx up the hill into the peasant bowmen. The peasant bowmen actually stand and shoot and do 2 wounds to him, and he doesn't make it. All right, and then so the dragon and the Necrosphinx go into those knights. Those knights are going to succumb to their wounds. Actually, a couple of them survive and they run off the table. And then he's got his peg knights in a great position here. But what I've done is I've travelled mystical pathways, the archers back. And then the high priest flew, and he's actually facing the wrong way. I couldn't get away anywhere. I had to get away from all that killing blow, etc. And he must survive, so he's actually flown back over the archers with a reserve move, and he's facing the wrong way. So I've got myself in a real pickle there, and I'm just trying to avoid his general there. So there's the Necrosphinx. He took 2 wounds from the stand and shoot from the peasant bowman. So go the peasant bowman. I thought this flank was pretty secure. I thought that Necrosphinx would be able to get into those archers and kill them, but now failed the charge, and then his knights are going to get stuck into the Necrosphinx. So I'm having a bit of a disaster on the left flank, and you can see there's Keefotep the Undying. He's named the Undying because he doesn't like dying, I think, and he's actually facing the wrong way. So how am I going to get out of this situation? I don't know, but here come the peg knights, I think. But hopefully I've got just out of charge range for them to get me. So his knights, they're going to charge in here. I'm hoping my Necrosphinx is heavily wounded already, 2 wounds. So they're going in there. I think his prophetess is in there as well. Maybe put a debuff on him or something. But anyway, that's I've got to fight my way out of that. And then I didn't reserve move these horse archers back far enough. I was a bit sloppy with their movement. And he got a couple of peg knights into them. So I'm going to lose those horse archers because those peg knights did a long charge and got stuck into them. So that was a mistake. The king and the Necrosphinx is off the... I think the Necrosphinx is off the table here. And yes, the Necrosphinx chased the black knights off the table, the unpainted ones. But we've managed to avoid all his charges on turn 2 by getting out of reach or making him risk a long bomb charge. So he's going to offer up I think it's the Duke on the... Duke or Paladin. Anyway, so he just flies them all up here and throws down the gauntlet. So he wants me to come in and charge his general there on the Hippogriff. And he just wants to screen the other guy with the Peg Knights and the BSB. And you can see my Hierophant is very vulnerable with his rear facing to them. So I've got to try and fight my way out of this corner. So we'll see what happens in turn 3. So very interesting. I've either got the option to go into the killing blow guy. Oh, and then he's going to win this combat. Here the Necrosphinx takes another couple of wounds. And the knights did pretty well. And I might have killed a couple in return. But the Necrosphinx, I thought I had this flank was reasonably secure. I thought the Necrosphinx could get over the top behind them, but that hasn't worked. And he's claimed the middle objective, so he's up 3 battle points. Yeah, there's a nice shot of my Necrosphinx. Looks pretty intimidating, but the knights don't care, and they've gone in there. And eventually, over a couple of turns, they're going to kill the Necrosphinx. So that left flank, which I thought was okay, isn't going so good. And these Peg Knights are going to kill my Horse Archers. So now I've got Peg Knights on my right flank, a unit of 2. And they're behind my lines, out of line of sight of the Tomb King.
Turn 3.
Okay, so turn 3, it's all happening. And just to show you where they all are, there's the Duke behind the Peg Knights, the Paladin, BSBs with those little unit of Peg Knights, and the Baron, the Hippogriff with the heroic killing blow and everything, is... Monster Slayer is offered up a charge to the Tomb King. So that's where all his main hitting power is, right in front of my archers. And how am I going to get out of this? Well, I put earthen ramparts on the archers. He offers up a charge to the Tomb King, but I say nah, because he's got counter charge. So that wouldn't have been very good. I was able to get Desert Winds off, so everybody in the command range has got reserve move, so that'll help. And then I'm going to travel Mystical Pathway the archers out of the way. And then the Hierophant on the dragon's going to move and then lumber and then blast the Peg Knights on my right flank there off the table, which is lucky. Maybe with, and then I travel Mystical Pathway the archers out here to the left. So they're going that direction, so get them out of trouble. Although, and get into standard... Oh, I can't stand and shoot because he's got the banner of Shalons anyway. And then after lumbering and turning, etc., I was able to get the Hierophant behind the hill. So that was all right because I wheeled around. And then the Tomb King, he decides not to charge the Baron on the Hippogriff because he's got counter charge and Monster Slayer. So he moves over, breathes fire on him, doesn't do anything, and then he pops behind him. So I was able to get the Hierophant, wheel around, lumber turn, and then move back off the hill. So he ends up behind the hill after killing the 2 Peg Knights over on the right-hand side there. Then my Necrosphinx here, he's only got 1 wound left, so it's been a bad day for him. So he's going to die. He failed that charge, took 2 wounds from peasant archers, and then these knights did well and killed him. So I didn't even get to strike back in that round there. So that's the end of that flank. So I've lost some horse archers and that Necrosphinx on this left flank. And then he's going to fail his restraint test, so he's going to go that direction, which is lucky for me because you can just see my archers up the top of the screen there. Made a mistake with them because he could have reformed and gone straight into them. As it is, he's going to kill those horse archers and go bang into the flank of the archers anyway. So my archers aren't looking good, so I've got to try and... I'm just getting myself into trouble this game and then getting out of it. So there's the Hierophant behind the hill. So he wheeled around, lumbered, and then he's just moved back off the hill. So he's behind the hill now, and he's out of line of sight of all those peg knights. And my archers are still shooting the peg knights, doing a bit of damage, and to his BSB. And there's the drag. He's going after those peasants in the middle because they will give him 3 battle points if he claims the central little village. Yeah, so that's the end of the Necrosphinx. He's had a bad day, that guy, and he's out of there. And so the knights are going to go straight forward and then reform, and they'll be on my flank. So the only good thing is that the prophetess is in there, so she's well away from the Hierophant. So I'm being able to get all my spells off, usually. And he's getting his off too, I guess. But that's the end of that flank. I thought I had that flank secured, but the Necrosphinx, they can let you down sometimes. And so he's going to charge in. Yeah, so his knight's reformed. He's going to go bang, bang into the archers. And here he decides to send the peg knights this way into the archers. And the Duke into the Tomb King. So that was a surprise, and there's his knights reformed. Those horse archers are in trouble. That's the problem with Tomb Kings. You can't flee when you make a mistake. Oh, my scorpions come on up the back as well. Yeah, and this is a bit of luck for me here. He fails this charge with the hippogriff into that Necrosphinx, which I forgot to move with reserve. Oh, he came in off the table, and I didn't move him very well. I just plonked him there and forgot about him, which offered up a charge. So the Duke goes into the Tomb King, the Baron fails his charge, and then the Paladin with the Peg Knights go into the archers because they're getting sick of being shot. Yeah, so there's his failed charge. So anyway, that's the failed charge, and then he's into the archers. Yeah, so there's the Knights go into my horse archers, and then they're going to go into the archers. So my archers are... I think I've got earthen ramparts up or something, but I've probably forgot about it. Yeah, so that's his Duke, his general with the Heartwood lance and everything. He decides to take on Keetokamen on his dragon, which is a bit of a mistake, and the dragon is just going to eat him, and Keetokamen's got the Ogre blade. So they make short work of him, which allows him, the dragon, to have a free reform, etc. And these guys are sick of getting shot at. I keep shooting at them and randomising. I've done a couple of wounds to the Paladin BSB, and there's only about 3 wounds left on the Peg Knights. So they charge into the archers, and he's going to overrun with this combat. Very cleverly, he's wheeled around there, and he's going to break through my horse archers. So I lose another unit of horse archers here. And he's going to overrun and fight another combat into my my skeleton archers, my archer block. And that's the failed charge, and that Necrosphinx is just going to pop over the top, live to fight another day, and the Duke is going to die, and the Peg Knights are going to get stuck here for a while. Scorpion comes on, so the Scorpion and the Dragon take care of the men-at-arms in the middle. And then my archers have just got to hang around for a while before help arrives. And I'm going to try and get some horse archers into the middle. Yeah, so these knights go bang and then into the flank of the foot archers. And they're going to end up stuck there for a while. And getting stuck there isn't good for them because after Keetokamen takes care of his general and then the men-at-arms, and then he's going to take care of that knight unit. So that's going to net me a few points there. The dragon just goes berserk, and in this case, the archers, skelly archers,
turn 4.
Right, so turn 4 and 5. This will be a summary here because we ran out of time. I think we finished on turn 5, but it was pretty much over by then. So you can see the dragon is in the middle there, and the dragon and the scorpion cleaned up the men-at-arms in the middle. And even my level 2 mortuary priest is accepting challenges, etc. And here he's remaining 1 wound on the peg knights, and his BSB decide to not follow up into the archers and then charge my last of my skeleton horse archers to stop them getting the central objective. Which stops me getting 3 battle points at the end, but he sacrifices because then they're just going to be easy meat. So I finish up, I think just blast them away with magic missiles, etc. In the end, there's only a couple of wounds left. And then these guys, my mortuary priest is doing well, holding them up in the challenge. But you can see the dragon's just there. He's going to come in and rescue the archers. The archers will survive. There's only a handful of them left, but they've done their job. They've stuck around. And so we're going to clean up the prophetess and that unit of knights. And so we're not going to get the middle because his peg knights are going to come this way and get rid of those horse archers. So in the end, I've lost a couple of units of horse archers and 1 Necrosphinx and most of the skellies. But he's lost his general and BSB and his couple of knight units and the men-at-arms and some banners and so on. But his Baron is the Baron on the hippogriff's going to fly back over, and he's going to have a last say, and he will so there's the final situation. So there's not much left. He's just got these knights which are going to get eaten by the dragon, and then his hippogriff's going to come over and kill the scorpion as his last defiant act. And he still has some peasant bowmen up on the hill and some peasant bowmen back there. But it's going to be a victory to the Tomb Kings. So, yeah, Keetokamen takes care of the knights, kills the prophetess and everything. So that's a big gain of points there. And he's just going to come in and kill the scorpion in the middle. So we've hung on. I don't know how, but we've got out of jail. Just tried to avoid full-on charges from the peg knights and skirted around and just cleaned up the knights and the peg knights and the battle standard and the general. But all my main characters are still alive. Even the mortuary priest was taking challenges to try and protect the skelly archers, and he held on. So it ends up being a 16-4 victory to the Tomb Kings. We added up points. We didn't get to play turn 6, but all we had left was the hippogriff in the middle and some peasant bowmen. So we got out of jail there. The main tactic was mainly to avoid getting swamped with peg knights all in one big charge. So I softened them up with some shooting. Got my Hierophant out of trouble. That's the advantage of having the Hierophant on the dragon. He didn't have to fight his way out, but he was manoeuvrable. Probably could have done the same thing on a horse for cheaper, which I might think about doing that. Just put him on a horse and maybe take a Warsphinx instead of the dragon, just to run him around behind the Warsphinx or something. Anyway, I got to find a use for my Warsphinx somehow. So 1 Necrosphinx down. The Necrosphinxes are sort of my sacrificial pawns in most of these games, I think. And he sacrificed his general charging into the dragon, which probably turned things around, which gave me a reform, and then I was able to get into the middle and get rid of he had the men-at-arms holding the middle. All right, so that was it, a victory. Round 1 to the Tomb Kings, 16-4 over the Bretonnians. All right, stay tuned for round 2, and I think we're into the Chaos Dwarves with the Iron Demons again. All right, thanks for watching. Bye for now.
Well, that was different. Yep, lousy, but different.